This is Irontrader. This is the last call of the day here. So we'll take a look here at Bitcoin, at ETHU, ETHU, the ETF. Take a look at gold and silver and crude oil, natural gas. And we'll take a look at the indexes, which are all green right now. Okay, at the end of the video, the support and resistance levels are posted for crude and natural gas. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation of advice on stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have Bitcoin. Okay, let's see on your daily and your weekly. Now you can see here, we just have the sideways action, and that 21 day is going to become very, very key resistant level. So what we're watching here is that obviously is that 114,283. That's that 21 day. Now when the futures open at 6 p.m., this will actually be lower. So just pay attention to that 21 day. If we can get above it, then we got that nice 50 day at 114,998. That's going to be very, very key. Now again, if we can get above all that, we'll come to the bottom here. You're looking at 116,295. We'll come to the top. You're looking at 117,315. And then we have your 117,640. Record adding up here, 118,350. And then 119,810. And we'll come to the top of that candle, 127,55. And then we have 121,255. Then sticky here, we have 122,955. And then we have 123,615. And then we have your retest at 125,200. I always like to show you where it could possibly go, but right now, right here, we're still in this downtrend situation, and you've got to really, really pay attention to that 21 day on the upside. That's going to be very, very key, and that 50 day on the downside. Now, we look at this 8 day. The 8 day came down, was trying to curl up, and how we just have this flat sideways action. So this is going to be very key support level, is that 111,493. Then we come down here to this 111. We come down here to 110,480 level, and we'll come down to the 109,720. Then we'll be looking here at this 108,662 level, and then we have your big retest down there at 107,790. So right now here, we just have sideways action. I think the whole thing about it is going to be this, the PPI and the CPI number. That's going to be very, very key on all of this. I mean, on the whole market, the whole 9 yards. Okay, so they're predicting a pretty good size cut. But let's see what that inflation numbers is here before you start making big decisions. Right now, this is just a trader's market. Now, BITX, that was my favorite trade there today. We got as low as 52.99 level, high as 55.28. It's just a fantastic trader. But remember, on BITX here, they pay almost a 14% dividend, and they pay it monthly kind of situation. So right now, they're going to be paying 62 cents a share as long as you're in by the 25th of September. That's going to be the key. So I'm a long-term holder. Okay, collect that dividend. Because eventually, I think Bitcoin's going to crack right up to that 200,000 mark. But again, got to be a little patient, and then you can do for daily trades. Now, you can see how on a weekly chart, we're just kind of like a ping-pong action. Right here, 109,570.17. That is going to be your key support level, your 21 day, and then when you have your 114,568, that is your 8 day. Now, again, this will eventually come on down. This eventually will come on up here, and we're creating a wedge. Now, you got to be a little bit careful here, because when you look at this red situation, okay, this falling cap, and then we have this rise up here. So you got to be careful that this isn't like a bear flag situation that's building. Okay, now if you get above this 8 day, well, then that negates that pattern, and then obviously then we go higher. We start losing that 8 day. We have a big test down here, all the way down 97,373. Of course, we have the 200 day here before that, but just be a little bit careful right now when we do it. So again, trading situation. But again, even if this came down all the way down to the 50 day, look at here, low, higher low, higher low. That'd still be a higher low. This is still left, bottom left, or upper right. Still a very, very bullish chart. Now, sitting at 56, that's not overbought or oversold. The green is over your red because we have that downside momentum. So we got to see how this all is going to shake out. But when you look at Bitcoin, usually it's been trading with the overall market. But remember, just this time frame is really not that great for stocks, for Bitcoin, for anything until we get out of that September, October, that first couple of weeks of October time frame. Okay, so what we want to watch here on Bitcoin is that 111,481. That's going to be very, very key. And next big test would be that 108,661, and then we have that retest at 107,790. That is going to be your downside action. Upside, this 21 is everything. You can see how it's stifling it. 114,279, and then right above is that 50 day. We get above that, and then we can just start marching those targets and possibly retest 125,200. Now look here. 45, that's not overbought or oversold. But what I like about it is this. See, we're at the bottom scenario. But now we got a sideways action. We get that green to curl up. That'd be momentum, and that would take that bad boy higher. Okay, let's take a look here now at ETHU. Here we have the ETF for ETHU. Okay, so if you like trading that, this is an easy way to trade it. 2 times leverage. Nice. Now, we had this double top. See that double top situation? Then we had this inside days, and then she just came up. But now, however, we're doing the same thing as pretty much as you have Bitcoin. We have this sideways action, and that 8-day is super strong. Okay, so you can see how it popped up, went from the 8-day into the 21-day, couldn't hold either one of them, came right on down. Look at here, see? Couldn't hold it, came on down. Couldn't hold it, same way with today. So this is why you trade the charts. 146.02, very, very critical. We get above that, we come up here, 148.62, come up there, 150.63 level, and then we go 155.49. That is your 21-day. That's going to be very, very key. But this 8-day right now, that is everything. Okay, you got to get above it before we can go to that next level. Now, you crack above 155.49, then we come up 156.68, and we look to the bottom of this candle, 161.80. We look to the top there, 167.54, and then we just march right on up, 171.40, and we come up here, 174.97. Then we look at old sticky up here at 183.18, and then we have 186.68, and you break out 188.73. Crack that, you go into 200. Eventually, I think this goes much higher, okay, kind of situation. But right now, we have a sideways action, like a consolidation situation. Okay, now if we lose the bottom of this candle right here, 139.44, that's what you want to watch. Then we're going to come right to the bottom there, 136.91. Then we'll come right to the left here, always look to the left. Then we have 127.69. Now we do have this gap, okay, see that? 127.19, the fill 119.44, and then we have a 50-day at 121.02. That's your downside action. Now, not overbought or oversold. Green is down in your red because obviously we can see where it's selling off. And we had this negative divergence going on here. And you can see how it played out very, very nicely. Now, we look at a weekly chart. The 8-day, we got to really want to hold the 8-day. So far for the week, we're holding it. So by Friday, you really want to hold this 140, 146. So even if it comes all the way down, as long as it pulls back above there, that's always good. Now we have targets down here, 104. You got a target all the way down here at 90, okay, for the week. Now, we got to a little bit of overbought condition. Come right on down. The green is still over your red. So this is very, very strong chart, okay? So just always look at that. See this? Very, very strong chart. We just have consolidation going. All right, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. Here we have gold and silver. Now, again, midday video today. I did a video there on gold, the GLD, and the GDX, which is the gold miner. So if you want to check that out, if you trade gold, you might be able to get some little info off of that. Now, you can see here how we have this gold. It just keeps on rallying up here, but we do have this topping tail situation at 37.15. Okay, so when we popped above here, this 35.34 level, I said we can go 34 at 34. We go 35.50, go 3600. Very, very easy, and that's exactly where you went. You went 35.92. At 36.40 level, but you notice that it couldn't close. The closing was sitting at that 36.20. Then I said 36.20, and you can rally up to 3700. Very, very easy. Now, again, we made a little higher high, but right now you're sitting at that 36.82. So 3600 is going to be very, very key. 3700, I'm sorry about that. 3700 is going to be very, very key on a closing basis. You can close above that. Well, then you can hit this 37.15. You can rally all the way up to 3800. Very easy. Even 38.20. Okay, very, very easy. Not a problem at all. However, you got to just take everything in consideration. Way overbought situation here. The green is up over red. Now, what's going to make this thing move, and like all these commodities, is going to be that CPI and PPI report and what that Fed is going to do. That's going to be very, very key on commodities. So just always remember that. Now, this really hasn't changed much from this morning. So what you want to do is you want to watch the top of this candle, looking at that 36.55 level. We look at that 36.40 level for support. Come to the bottom there at 36.21. But the 8-day is going to be key. Okay, we lose that 8-day. We come right to the bottom there at 35.73. And then we'll be looking here just the reverse of everything, 35.34 level. And then we just follow the candles all the way down until we get that 34.76, your 21-day, your 50-day, and we have the 100-day. That's all your key support levels. But right now, this 8-day is, as long as that 8-day is hold, you got a good shot at even taking this higher again. So again, you got to crack that 30, close above that, at least that 3,700. That's going to be very, very key. You do that, then we aim for the 37.50, and then boom, you can take it right on up here. For me, it was a really good trade today, but I'm out of the trade, and I'm just going to wait and see what's going to happen. To me, I look at everything at risk to reward, but you got to figure the uptrend that we've had here in the overbought condition, you got to be this a little bit cautious going in. Now, we had a good sideways action, building good energy. And then once we broke out of this situation, then it just rises right on up here. But I don't like that topping tail, and I don't like it that we're outside of that price channel. I like to have it come in a little bit, maybe a little sideways action, correction. Now, just because it comes down and it goes, it sells down a little bit, that doesn't mean that's going to sell right off. That could be just a sideways action here. We could rebuy it and then take it right back up again. Okay, so me, I've been just trading this daily, and that's pretty much what I do with the GLD. Now we have silver here, and silver not as good as the gold. However, we got the red candle today, but you notice that it's holding that 100-day. Yesterday it held it. Today it's held it. Very, very nice. But when you look at today's high, we hit that 42.07. What we're looking for here basically is this 42 level. That's going to be very, very key. So yeah, did we pop above it? Absolutely. Did we close above it? Hell no. That's the key, is that 42 level. Now, just because we popped up and made 42.35, that doesn't mean anything. You've got to close above that 42. Then we hit 42.35. You can work your way to 45, maybe even 50 level. Very, very easy. But right now, we just have this sideways consolidation. Downside, just watch that 8-day. That's going to be very, very key. And then we can work to the top of that candle, looking at 40.86. Come to the bottom there at that 40.55 level. And then what we're going to be looking at is right here, 39.91. You want to make sure that you hold that situation. Then we want to go 39.57. Then we'll come down to your 21-day, 39.38, and then we have 38.52. These will be all your key levels. So if you're going to short this, you can want to watch and make sure that, say, it loses that 8-day. Well, then your next big target is going to be your 21-day. Then you have to see what your reaction is once you get there. Does it blow through to the 50-day, or does it hold it? Then you can jump back in along and take it right back up again. Okay? So I don't think gold and silver are done, by no means. It's just that right now, when you see this kind of a situation, when you go up to the nosebleed situation like we have here and like we have here, that's really not good. Plus, we have this negative divergence. See how we had this high, and we made a higher high, but we made a lower high here. Okay? Negative divergence. So anytime this thing gets that divergence where we have this high, it sells off. Gets to that overbought, boom, sell off. This was perfect negative divergence, and what happened? Boom. Came all the way down, went down to that 50 SMA here. So just be a little bit careful here. Now, again, if you close above that 42 and above that 42.35, yeah, jump right in the SLB. Take it higher. Take a cracker rail all up to that 45 level. Could be a very, very good trade. However, just, risk to reward on what we trade. All right, take crude oil and Natgas. Here we have crude oil. Okay, now, again, Middle East raising all kinds of hell out there again. They sent a bomb into the Qatar area. That's not good. But again, oil spiked up, but it didn't really, what they call really go up hard. Okay, it went right up here into the resistance. Okay, got right into the 21-day, got into the 8-day, and then what happened? Boom, down she went. Okay, so now we got to be very, very careful here, because we got a tweezer top situation and we got a possible bear flag situation. So just be very, very cautious on this scenario if you're a long trader. For me, I'm just a scalp trader, on day trader on what's going on here. Now, UCO, I took actually a nice good scalp today. Got as low as 22.72, high as 23.31. But when you trade 5,000 shares, all I needed was 30 cents. That's all I was looking for. Make a quick 1,500, boom, see you later. Okay, that's all I care about right now. Now, OPEC did not really pour in too much money, too much oil they're not going to dump in the market here, I should say, in October. They're going to dump in 541,000 barrels a day in September, but now in October, they lowered that down to 137,000, okay? So that's going to come down here. So that's what's keeping this crude oil up. Now, when you look at the chart, what do we have here? 61.45. What do we have here? 61.45. See that double bottom? You always got to pay attention to that double bottom situation, and you got to pay attention to this possible bear flag. Okay, so over the weekend, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post a video like I did last weekend. I did on seasonality charts. This weekend, I'll do it here on candlesticks, and I'll do it here on chart patterns for you. That way, it gives you a little bit of juice, and it's always a good reminder to say, hey, I got to look for patterns. What I'll try to do is do the same thing I do for myself, is give you as much information as you can to try to give you any kind of edge that you can have to make some money. That's what we're all here for, is making that greenback. Okay, so this is what we're watching on the upside. Right there, there's your resistance, 63.41. Your next 63.53, and then Hondo there at 64.41. That's your upside. You get above that, we got 65.29. But you got to be very careful with that 50-day. look what happened here. Always look to the past, and then down you come. Did it go higher? Did it close above it? Hell no, and down you come. We get above that, we go right to the price channel, 66.03, which is only just the top of that candle, and then 67.20. That is your upside. Now, downside, we want to watch today's low. Okay, so you're looking at 62.37, and then we have 61.85, and then here's the big boy at 61.45. Now, if we lose that 61.45, we come right to the bottom there. Okay, very easy, 61.06. Right there, 60.55. We come down here to that candle, 60.02, and then here's your retest at 59.74. So everything you need to know if we lose that 61.45 is sitting right here. Okay, these are all your support levels, your downside targets. So if you say, hey, I'm going to short this, which I am going to do, then I just go level to level to level. We lose that level, I go to the next level, then to the next level, then to the next level, and then down to the old 55.12 level. I think eventually by the end of the year, you'll be down in the 50s. I don't know how long it's going to stay down there, but again, I think it's going to be nice. But again, right now where I am, gasoline is only $2.90 a gallon. Nice. Okay, RSI, 44. That could go either direction. The green is just sideways action, but you can see here it has that pop situation, but it just can't hold it because right now the market is fully supplied. Okay. Now here we go. Natgas. Natgas, great trading in the UNG. I gotta say, I'm not doing anything in the KOLD. Okay, that's on the short ski. I'm not doing anything on the KLD, just long on the UNG for now until we get that first week of November. So if you look at the seasonality charts that I posted over the weekend, I got crude oil on there, natural gas, gold, silver, the indexes. Take a peek at it, okay? And that might give you help now. It's over a 20-year period. Now, there's no guarantees, oh, this is what it's going to do every year. No. That's not how it works, okay? You just want to have information. That's the key is information. Information is the most valuable commodity you can have. Okay, if you don't believe me, watch Gordon Gekko on Wall Street. He'll tell you. Okay, so anyway, here we got Natgas. Now you can see where it came. Where did it go? Boom. Right to the 8-day. Look at that shit. Okay, look at that. See, now we're right back above this 50-day. Okay, so this was the buying opportunity. Okay, so UNG got down to 12.96. I got in there at 13 flat. Now you're sitting at 13.33. Now I'm trading 5,000 shares. Now, if we get above this scenario, that 320 level, then what we're going to do is we're going to come right to the bottomless level. We got a 321. Then we come up here. We have a 326. And then we're going to come right to the 100-day at 330. Then we can, once you get up here, then we definitely reversed, okay, this downtrend. And we're going to hit that 200-day. Now, you crack that 200-day, we're going to come right up here to the top of this tweezer top up here to that 360 mark. And we could come all the way up here back to that 375. And we got a big retest up there at 414. Now, this is the time of the year, okay? Now, today over here where I live, it's beautiful. It's like 72 degrees and sunny, no wind. I'm going to take the Harley take a little cruise tonight around the peninsula. Oh, man, those are great because it's nothing but wineries and lake and everything. Oh, awesome ride. Just clear the head, okay? Got to get yourself a Harley, man. I got 2 of them myself. Just love it. All right. So what we're looking at on the downside here is we want to hold that 50-day, okay, 310 level, and then we want to go to the 8-day. That's 305. As long as we're holding that 8-day, we're looking good. We lose it, we'll come down here, 302, right there, 296. And then we'll come right down to old 21-day here at 290. We lose that. We come down here at that 286 and then 277, your gap, 274, your fill, 265, and then 262. Okay, but right now, that 8-day, look at this. Look at this. Holding it. And look at that today, holding it. Okay, so watch today's candle when you're trading at the futures open at 6. 320 basically, or I mean today's candle. Okay, 316.5 and 3.04 on the bottom. That's what we want to hold in today's trading at 6. That's what we're trading against. Okay, but always watch that 50-day and that 8-day. Very, very key. We lose that 8-day, 21 days of target. We keep rolling, 100 days of target. You keep rolling, 200 days of target. All right, let's take a look here at the indexes. Here we have the indexes, Dow, S&P, and the old Nasdaq. Okay, you can see here, we're sitting right at resistance. Okay, so we're sitting right at 45,770. That's what we're looking at. We crack that, you're going to go to 46,000. Now again, that CPI and PPI report, if they come in weak, okay, and inflation is not there, this market could blast much higher. Okay, even though we have this negative divergence going on here on all the charts, this could blast higher. because then what it'll say, it'll give the Fed an easy clear that says, hey, I'm going to start cutting rates. All right. But again, there's always a two-edged sword here. So you're looking at say, why is the Fed cutting rates? Isn't that things are bad when you start cutting rates? Okay. So always remember, but again, the market here is pricing in a big rate cut through the whole of the end of the year here. So just be advised, if it does not happen, okay, this market could dump out real quick. Now, downside, just watch that 8-day. Okay, very key. Watch this 21-day, 45,176. Then the 50-day. Then we have the same old shit that the 100-day and the 200-day, and then we have your gap and fill. Nothing's really changed. Okay, negative divergence, but market can melt right on up, and that's exactly what's happening. Now you look at the S&P. Okay, she's moving up here, but your breakout is going to be 65.32.65. Okay, that's why you put the price channels on it. See how nice that is? Boom. See that? 65.32.65. Okay, you crack that, you can work your way to 6,600. You can work 6,700. Everybody's looking at 6,700 to 6,800 now. Okay, which is very well legal. It's go to 7,000. Okay, but let's just see how this all shakes out. A lot of times, something when you think everything looks good, something comes out of that woodwork that does not look good. Okay, so just always remember that. Now, downside, right here, just watch that 8-day. Very key. Watch that 21-day. Very key. And then we watch the 50-day. That's it. Gap, fill, 100-day, 200-day. That's your support levels. But right now, you're still uptrending, even though we are downtrending here, which gives you negative divergence, but we're uptrending here, which a lot of times does not work, but nobody wants to give up the ghost on the old stocks. Okay? So here we have the NASDAQ. Now, NASDAQ, this all you do is click onto the right there, 21,885. That's what you got to get above. You get above that, you're going 22,000. Just that simple. Okay? Now you can see all these charts are pretty much the same. So bottom line, watch the 8-day, 21,623. Watch that 21-day. We lose that, you're going to come right down here to that 50-day. There is a gap down here. Okay, so you want to watch that 21,370 level, and we want to watch 21,293. Gap, fill, and then we have your 50-day. Then we come right down to the retest at 29.05. Just that simple. Okay. Then we obviously what we have here, same thing, 100-day, 200-day, gap fill. Okay, just that simple. But we have this negative divergence. But everything right now is going to be based on very simple logic, CPI number, PPI number. Okay, measuring that inflation and the Fed next week, if they cut, how much they cut, the inflation is going to be key. Okay, all right, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here tomorrow morning, and we're going to do it all over again. Trade what's in front of you, not what you want.